Good morning, everyone. It's 7:43 in the morning of December 10th, 2021. This is my property tax envelope. I owe $236. $136 of that went to the school of Camden County. All the schools in Camden County get $136 from me, and I don't get to say how the money is used. Is it for electricity? Is it for the teachers? Is it for the staff? Is it to put books on the shelves for the students? Buses? Maintenance of the buses? Maintenance of the school building itself? I don't get to say so. But the thing is, I'm childless, which means I have no kids. And I don't want any, because I'm 51 years old and I have no interest in having kids. Besides, if I did have kids, I wouldn't want them in this time and era. But the thing is, just because I have my vehicle, which is why I'm getting property, I have to pay my property taxes on, which would have been my home if I had a house of my own. And I had asked the ladies at the courthouse, how much would it be if I owned a house? Oh, you would owe $800 in taxes for home, when I barely make $1,000 in 1 month, and to live off of and everything else. They expect someone of my means to afford an $800 property tax. I don't believe it. The government claims, we give you the honor of living in your own home that you paid cash with or have a mortgage on. You owe us money. We're going to tax you on the vehicle you own, the property you own, the land to which your house is on. And also the house you're on, you live in. Then there's state and federal taxes and all these taxes on food, gas, everything. Income taxes. You're taxed on your income that you're basically taxed on when you go buy groceries or buy gas or buy another vehicle. I think we should have one major tax, that is that at the end of the year you get to pay one big tax, and that could be $300 that you can actually afford. Not, let's do $15 for road repairs or stuff like that, and it goes down and down. And schools, even though I will tell you this, schools are important, but the thing is, when you don't have kids and you have put on your taxes, you have no kids, well, you shouldn't be paying for the kids for schools unless you use the schools to get a better education. Then you do deserve to pay for schools. 2021 was the last year I had school, so I understand for that. But I feel that schools should be paid by the parents because the parents have more responsibilities to their kids. Anyone who does not have kids don't need to pay school taxes, because even though people say, oh, it takes a village to take care of a kid, no, it doesn't. The kid belongs to the parents. The parent deserves to pay for all of what the kid requires, which includes paying for school, paying the school bill, taxes, and anything that is related to the school. And anyone who doesn't have kids or have kids out of school, we don't just need to give money to the schools so they can put education materials that are not fit for our kids. And even though I said our kids, people say it takes a village to raise a kid. Well, if any of the schools in this county of Camden County has CRT in it, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna go to the school board and say, since I pay your bills, pay your salary, and to allow you to have this lovely school, I don't want CRT in my school at all. I don't want you to be teaching this to the kids. You teach them how to live their life, to do math, science, reading, everything, history, all that stuff, but life, and actually you need to turn home ec and driver's education to the students, to where they know how to change a tire, change the oil, and how to handle an accident if an accident happens. And when they get jobs, they need to start paying income taxes, which means you got to teach them how to do their income taxes and how to keep their paychecks in order. So in case their bosses say, hey, Susie, I'm sorry, but we got some errors in our accounting. We need to have all your payroll slips so we can correct your paychecks. And if you have them, I would put them in order from the time you start work to the last paycheck, in a shoebox or a little file folder, or even one of those storage boxes, and put them in order of each year. Just put down, let's say you start in 2015. 2016, you write down that year, and you keep going year in, year out, and you have everything in order, and you basically give the your employers, oh, here they are, here's everything in order of when I first joined the team to my last paycheck, which was last week. So all of these things can be taught in school. The parents have the right to teach their kids how to be proper citizens of this country. You, the teachers, have the need to have the ability to teach the kids reading and arithmetics and everything else that goes with it. And if your kid bullies another kid, that kid should be suspended out of school, not in school suspension, because out of school suspension will punish them even more, because they can't come back to school and be, oh, I'm Miss Perfect. The school cannot tolerate without not have me in class, even though they're isolated from everyone. But the mere fact that, oh, every student in class, every student has to be there, even those who got suspended. That's why they put kids in these isolation rooms when they have been suspended should have been suspended out of school. They put the kids in suspension in school. Why is that? Tell me, why is that? Why would you have a bully remain in school when he has been known to pick on kids, and and you think that, oh, it will teach him a lesson? No, it will just teach the kid who is the victim of the bully that he's not important, which is why we get all these school shootings, because the school doesn't consider the victim of the bullies. And I would tell you this, I would know, because I was bullied. I was bullied from the year 1983 to 1986. I was picked on for my height, my voice, and the fact that when I was in the 5th grade, I was not this is shocking, people. This is shocking. I was born in the 70s. And 1983, I was 13. I should have been like in the 7th grade. By then, if you go by how school-age kids should be, I was 14 in the 5th grade. Actually, I was 13 in the 4th grade. 5th grade, No, wait a minute. Now I got myself screwed up. Uh, when I was in my last year of school in 1985-86, I was 15 to 16. Well, I was 15 years old when I went into the 7th grade in 1985. So that should tell you. And when and the presidential fitness program came out, all the kids had to state their ages to their gym teacher. All the kids were telling the teacher 12, 13, and he came to me and he said, "Okay, Beth, what's your age?" And I said, 15. And he said, "Okay, 13. And I said, "No, sir, you got the age wrong." "What do you mean, the age wrong?" And I stood up and I said, "I'm not a 13-year-old. And he's like, "What do you mean?" "I'm 15 years old, sir. I was born July of 1970. He was like, what?" "I'm 15 years old, sir." And he jotted down my age and went to the next person, the next student. My friend who was sitting in front of me turned and said, "You're how old? You're how old? Beth, how old are you?" And I said, "I'm 15 years old. I got held back 1 year, and that was in the 3rd grade. And 1 year, I did not go to school, period." Which is how my younger brother is in the same grade that I am. He's 12, 13. He's 13 years old now, and I'm 15. We're a year and a half apart from each other. Every student in that class looked at me like, "Oh my word. Beth's gonna have her license next year. She's gonna be driving." Ah! Yeah, that's what I got from the other students. But we had 3 bullies in the class. Because this happened on Friday, I had the whole weekend to know to dread Monday. The 3 bullies were always sitting behind me in music class, because Monday was music class. We didn't go to PE on Monday. We had it on Tuesday and Friday. Tuesday and Friday was our PE class. They did not like the fact that I was the oldest in the class, because one of the bullies said, "Well, I'm the oldest in this class in this entire year," because he was 13 to everyone's 12. Well, 14 to everyone's 13. He thought he was the oldest. I outshined him because I was 15. He didn't like that very much. So, guess what he did? He really started picking on me good. And I ignored it, even though it hurt my feelings. But I ignored him totally. I ignored him. But my younger brother David would tell mom and dad that, oh, Beth's being picked on at school. Beth, why didn't you tell us you were being bullied? Oh, it's nothing. Because I didn't want to cause issues. Well, my parents went to the principal the next day to report of this. Oh, she never told anyone that she was being picked on, bullied. Well, she is. And my mom told me that if these three bullies do anything to me, go to the teacher and report it. Well, I ignored them for about a week till the following Monday. The bully decided to make a goober. And I mean goober. And I heard him go, and I felt impact on the back of my head. And I reached back and touched, and I felt moisture on my hands. And I had dried hair. My hair was fully dry, like it is right now. And I went to the teacher and I said, and I pointed out to the three students and I said, they spit on my hair. They spit on my hair. And I showed the teacher. The teacher saw it. She said, wait right here, Beth. She stood up from her seat and said, you, and you, in the hallway, now? And they're like, what did we do wrong? And the teacher said, go into the hallway, now. And they got up and went to the hallway. And the teacher slid the barrier between the two rooms, because we had an entire classroom which was split in half from the other class. And the teacher went to the other teacher and said, can you watch my class? Because I have to take 3 bullies and their victim to the principal's office. And I went before the principal, and he saw what was on the back of my hair, actually wiped it with a tissue, so he could have proof. And he then said, Beth, do you walk or bus to school? And I said, I walk. My home is just 2 blocks away. And he said, okay, I'm giving you this a chance to go home, wash your hair, come back. To which I did. And when I came back to school with a wet head, I had wet hair for the rest of the day. When I came back to school, there was 3 different vehicles sitting in front of the student unloading and loading dock spots. The 3 students were being escorted by their dads, by their mothers, out of the school. And I heard one of their mothers say, how dare you get yourself suspended spitting in someone's hair? Well, she deserves it. I don't want to hear it. You don't pick on anyone. No TV for you this weekend. This week. You're grounded. That was one of the bullies' moms basically punishing their kid. I walked in and the school principal was waiting for me, and he said, just to let you know, Beth, those three have been suspended for 3 days out of school. And the next time that they pick on you, please let us know so we can contend with them. Well, they didn't go after me after that because they knew if they got reported to the principal again, they'd be expelled. Well, they went after my younger brother David instead. David was more well, let's just say they got their butts kicked. David fought them, punched them. Basically, they were teasing him for having an older sister in the same grade as he is, teasing him, berating him for being the younger brother of a 15-year-old 7th grader, blah, 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 blah. And David just basically punched all three of them. Instead of going to the principal and reporting it to the principal, he gave them all black eyes and puffed up lips. And they ended up getting suspended for that. And that was like the last 3 days of school. No biggie. David didn't mind. Neither did we. Because we all passed into our next grade. Me to the 8th grade, David to the 8th grade, my older brother to freedom, I think. He might have had one more year of school to go. Actually, I don't think so. He graduated that year from Huala High School. But the thing is, when you suspend a student in school, that means nothing to the student. Their victims of their bullying feel extremely like the school just basically let them walk with no punishment, no severe punishment. We're still being picked on. We're still bullied. Having students suspended out of school is more harsher than, putting them in school suspension. Because from what I'm aware of, every student in school for each day has to count towards federal money coming in. So if one student is out of school for bullying for 3 days, that could be like $900 out of their federal budget for the next month or whatever. But the thing is, when you suspend a student out of school, you have to get their parents involved, which means the parents have to leave work, take their kids home, and if the kid is, like, let's say, an 8-year-old, they have to have a babysitter, or take the student to work and explain to their boss that I have to bring my son or daughter to work for the next 3 days because they're suspended out of school. Because the parent household is 2 parent working now. And for them to go out of work, to get out of work, to take care of the suspended student, their suspended students, now has to be at work with them or at home where they're not being observed. People, the school boards, and probably the federal government probably said, well, any student who is suspended has to do it in school so you don't lose your federal funding on that student, and so the parents don't have to worry about calling off work, taking sick days or vacation time. But the thing is, it it's a slap of the wrist to the bullies. They can get away with it. And the victims of the bullies feel like we reported them and they get in-school suspension. They can still bully us. There's no punishment. No punishment at all. It's not even worth it. So that's when the kids start bringing weapons to schools so they could go after the bullies, because the schools failed the bullied. Instead of taking care of the bullies, or let's say you have a no tolerance that both the victim of the bully and the bully, they're both thrown into in-school suspension. And the thing is, all of these schools now have cameras in the hallways, and they should also have them in the classrooms too, so they can see the bullies in action. Because bullies don't do it usually in the hallways; they do it in the classroom. But the thing is, schools need to be paid by the parents with their property taxes, not people who don't have kids. Now, right now, I don't mind paying it, but next year, I don't think I should be paying school taxes for something that I'm not using. I'm not going to be using the schools next year because I'm not going to go to school anymore. I'm very happy with having my GED or high set, and I'm happy with that, and I don't care about getting my higher education. So property taxes should be towards what people would use the most, and parents use the schools most because that's where they send their kids. Childless people like me and my friend Jonathan, we should not be paying school taxes on schools we don't use. I think it shouldn't be towards childless people. The parents should be the ones who get the school taxes, because they use the taxes. They use the schools to which they pay the taxes towards. I don't walk into a school to see how the teachers are behaving, or going to a school board meeting, because I'm not invested in the students, because I don't have a student in class, in school, period. So why should I pay school taxes in my property taxes when I don't have any school kids? I think it's one thing that should be towards the parents only. Well, I gotta get off of here, and I'll do another video another time of whatever gets on my mind. Bye.